Today is December 7th, 2018. I'm interviewing John Bagdonis at his home in Marlborough, Connecticut. The interviewer is Caleb Pittman, working with Central Connecticut State University. Also present is Sue Bagdonis, his daughter-in-law. So John, could you please state your full name and the city and state in which you live?
Your name and address.
John Bagdonis, 344 South Main Street, Marlborough, Connecticut.
Great.
Lot 6447, zip code.
Great. And in which war did you serve?
What war did you serve? Which war? Which war did you serve?
Which war?
War, yeah.
World War II.
Okay, great. What was your branch?
It is Pacific, West Pacific.
Okay. And what was your
I
branch?
got all this stuff here.
Okay.
Okay, what was your rank? What was your rank?
What?
Rank. Rank.
Rank? Well, I started as a private. I got out as a sergeant.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, that's good. And you said you served in the Pacific, right?
Yes.
Pacific, okay. So were you drafted or did you enlist?
Drafted or did you enlist?
Where?
Drafted?
Oh, I was drafted.
Okay. Where were you living at the time when you were drafted?
When you were drafted, where were you living? Athol?
Manchester.
No,
Manchester.
I was Manchester, Connecticut.
Okay.
Thank you.
How old were you when you were drafted?
How old? How old when you were drafted?
How old was I? I think I was 22.
22? Okay.
Oh, yeah, 22, I think. Let's see, it was 1944 to 23, because I was born 21.
Okay.
Okay. So how did you feel about being drafted at the time?
How did you feel about being drafted?
Well, actually, I was working at Pratt & Whitney, and I was a supervisor. I was there since I was 19 years old, and they kept deferring me. Then they claimed at the time anybody under 25 was subject to draft. But I found out later on that they were looking for people in the Manhattan Project. And see, I'm not working on atomic stuff, but I was a supervisor in a machine shop. Because when I was a kid, I went to trade school, so I was pretty well versed in machinery. So when all this stuff came through, I was on top because, I had the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept deferring me. And when I got my time to call, I didn't want anything. I just went and was glad to go. I didn't want to go, but I had to go.
Okay, yeah. So how did it feel going to boot camp and everything? How was boot camp?
How was boot camp?
What?
How was boot camp?
Actually, it was almost a joke because but when I went in, it was mostly older guys, and both of them were. One was a wrestler, another was a boxer. Fitzy Zimmers was in there, so it was a crazy outfit. In fact, there were misfits. And I was one of the younger ones.
Okay. So how, do you remember any of your instructors?
Do you remember any of your instructor? Do you remember your instructors?
No, I don't. I know they woke us up at 2 o'clock in the morning and said it's a piss call. I know that.
So after boot camp, where did you go?
Where did you go after boot camp?
Well, I went to boot camp, and after boot camp, all of a sudden they give me a furlough. That's unusual. So I went home. Then I got my orders to report to Texas. So I was during the circus fire. I was home. In fact, we were going to go to the circus fire,
Ooh.
and I didn't go. So then I went to Normal in San Antone. That's where I was supposed to be deployed to Manhattan Project. And in the meantime, they were looking for somebody to be replaced in this aircraft repair ship. So I think I got stuck into that. But I thought that Manhattan Project was in China. So I was happy to go there. But come to find out, I could have gone to England when the war was all over.
Yeah.
And I got in, the war was just beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So well, whatever.
So you went to San Antonio, Texas to be deployed?
San Antonio, Texas to be deployed?
What?
You went to San Antonio to be deployed?
Well, I went there to be for dispatch where I was going to go. So then I got the orders to go to Biloxi, Mississippi. No, not Biloxi, Mississippi. In Mobile, Alabama. That's where my outfit, they were ready to go already.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there, a recruit. This outfit started 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was all mechanics. Some were aircraft mechanics. It was all aircraft. And of course, I was in a machine shop, and I was sort of a half-assed engineer. Then I helped in the engine room, which I didn't do nothing, but well, whatever. I'm just a private, and everybody else has got ranks because I don't know if you've been in the service, but they only give so many commissions. But by that time, I didn't even want to go to officers' school. I just wanted to go. Or whatever.
Okay. So where did you go from Alabama after that?
Where did you go from Alabama?
From Alabama. Hey, baby, right on the ship. I was in Alabama until our ship was fitted. Well, I mean, you can read about the ships, but I don't have to tell you. What it is, it was a aircraft repair ship. It was supposed to be, what is it, Ivory Soap, I don't know, that was a thing. There was 7 ships. What they were, a Liberty ship. I don't know if you know a Liberty ship. They used to call them coffins. On Lend-Lease, they used to come from the United States to Europe before we got in the war. They used to call them coffins. They used to make 6, 7 in a month or in a year. And we had one. So what they did, they got 7 of those big ones. Mm-hmm. They brought it down to Alabama, and Alabama has a shipbuilding company. So they outfitted it all for our outfit. It was one of these outfits that you take a Liberty ship, and you put in about 120 men. There's no place to even walk. I never sat down the whole damn time I was in that place.
Wow. Okay.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah. So what was a typical day like on that ship?
What was a day like on the ship?
What?
What was a day like? What did you do all day during the on the ship?
I do a day?
On the ship, what did you do during the day? You know, a day.
Well, first of all, we had a machine shop. Everybody has a job. Mm-hmm. And my job was in the machine shop. And the machine shop was way down in the bottom because we had all kinds of metal. So it was heavy. And actually the idea of the ship was that if there was an accident someplace, or even an invasion, we went in as soon as the airfields were able to get into. Then we had 2 helicopters, the first helicopters that were ever seen. And we had 2 on ours, and every big ship, ours was one of 7. We had 2 big helicopters on each one, and each one had little ships, 3 little ships. So the little ships could get in there first, the mechanics. Then we come in, then we could do what they can't do. Then after that, if they couldn't do it, they'd get the bulldozers and get the ships the hell out of the way. So get the strip ready for the next thing. See, especially in Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima was made for the big 29s that were going raiding to Japan. And it was about a halfway stop. So before they used to have to ditch them. So when they got Iwo Jima, it would be fabulous because they could land there. But I didn't see too much of that. But by the time we got there, because we were in an invasion, but we couldn't get in. We stayed there for about a week. They shipped us back again to Guam until we could get in. But when we got in there, the place was barren. We were right under where the Marines had the cross up there. You know, I look at that pictures, and it's the biggest farce there is. I mean, you know, it was. I'm not saying it's a farce, but I'm saying they made a big thing out of it, and it was a big thing. Mm-hmm. And my ship was right down below there.
Oh, wow.
And by that time we got there, the bodies were just floating, and the fish were after them. Our colonel was shooting the ones that were coming up. Whatever. In other words, we were just a outfit that just did minor work until the big ships come in. Then the Navy come in. Holy Christ! They come in with machine shops. They come in with everything. I mean, it was just like a mechanic to get your car started. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we did.
Okay. Sure.
And we had the stuff. We didn't have the stuff to really do it. We had to do it any way we could. And if we couldn't do it, they just throw it out of the dump.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see a lot of combat when you were in the Pacific?
Did you see a lot of combat in the Pacific?
What?
Did you see a lot of combat?
No, I had no contact at all, no.
Okay.
Oh, I had contact with maybe snipers or something, but not up to my knowledge.
Okay, so you think you had
They
snipers.
always, like, I was on the island once, and I got a burn right here. Somebody told me that was a shot. I mean, because it burnt, you know. But that I don't know what it was. But I got contact all right on an air raid. I jumped like hell. I got through the bulwark, and I hit the thing. Knocked me out.
Okay. So did you spend all of your time abroad, like in Japan? Was it in Japan or the Pacific?
Did you spend most of your time in Japan or in the...
What?
Did you spend most of your... Where did you spend most of your time in the Pacific?
China?
Japan? Were you in Japan?
The Japan?
Did you?
No, where do you go? The Japan. From there, I went to Okinawa. Okay. And when I got to Okinawa, the war was over after a while, mm-hmm. and my ship was going to go back to the United States. But I was only in there for a short time, mm-hmm. where the other guys were in there 2-3 years. Yeah. So I didn't have enough time. So they transferred me to the island. So I spent almost 3/4 of a year on the island. In Naha Air Base, they had an air base there, but we didn't do any work in the air base. Actually, when I ended up, I had prisoners working for me. We had 7 to 8 of them. We were putting up fences, so, you know, I was completely doing different. But one guy had a prisoner, Kanemura, and you know that son of a gun, I think he ended up being, not the emperor, some big, like a president But he never told me he was.
Wow.
None of them. You know, when you would say, did you do this? Do you that? Oh, no, no. But we used to have some officers come up, you know, talk to us. We just sit there, talk to the guy just like that. They says, Navy, Army, you don't get up there, you don't do that, boom, you're dead. I used to get a kick out of it. And in fact, I even brought him a beer. I liked the guy. And he used to bring his Lynch gang with him. And every time my truck was there, I had a driver for the truck. I had about 7 or 8 of them. These guys used to fight to get into my truck. One F1 with the guy goes the other. No, I didn't do that. I made the best of it.
That's good.
I had a couple of guys with me, and one of them was, he was a bastard. I mean, American. And one of his friends got killed. He used to kick these guys in the rear. I mean, I got rid of him fast. These guys liked me.
I like you.
Hey, when I was leaving, you know, I said bye. I said, how's your family? None of them knew.
None of them knew.
You know, hey, let's face it, war is bad. I don't care if you're German or what.
So did you stay in touch with your family while you were in the service?
Did you stay in touch with your family while you were in the service? Did you write letters to your family while you were in the service? Did you write letters or call them while you were on the ship?
Did I like it better?
No, mail. Did you write letters or call back home?
Was it better? I used to write every day. For the time I got on the ship, every day I wrote a letter. And she did. And you know, when I got my mail, sometimes I get 30, 100 of them. And of course they were censored, you know. And in fact, one of my friends worked with the colonel that was the head of it, and he says, when Bagdonis' mail comes, he says, don't even read it. It's the same letter over and over.
Okay.
I'm making fun of it now. It wasn't funny.
So how did you handle the stress of being when you were in the service?
How did you handle the stress of being in the service?
What?
How did you handle the stress of being in the service?
Under the stress, what are you talking about? Is when I was during the war or after?
In the war.
During, yeah.
In.
During the war?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you get to the point where at first you're scared as hell. And then you almost said, if you gotta go, you gotta go. And in fact, some of the guys got so bad, they'd be walking around naked and say, I work like a horse, I look like a horse. They're sitting down, taking a fart. How do you like this? Oh, Jesus Christ. It wasn't not funny. It wasn't funny. And every time I air raid, oh my God, you have to close everything up. No more air. Sometimes all night long. Oh, That's not fun. You know, you got to the point, I was telling my wife, I never wanted this to happen, but if I lost my arm and I could go home, I'd say thank you. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't want to go home. I didn't want to lose my arm, but that was probably better than staying.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't fun, believe me. I've seen guys that just sit down, then lay down, and they stay there until they sent them to the hospital. You know, we had the hospitals on the ship, not our ship. In fact, my cousin, she was on the ship. She was a head nurse. She was a colonel, I think, and I didn't even know it. She was.
Oh, she was there.
She
You
was
didn't
right
know it?
next to our boat.
Oh,
And I found out after that she was there and I was down below. Oh, it was stress. You know, I'm laughing when I'm saying that. You know, laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. Boy, believe me.
Sure.
I said my rosary every night, and I just prayed. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, believe me. Nobody. In fact, I was glad to never think of it until Emily started, and it brought back memories again. It was, what the- No, it wasn't fun.
yeah.
Do you want to take a minute just to take a break?
Do you want to rest? Do you want to stop for a couple minutes?
What?
Do you want to stop for a couple minutes? Do you want to stop for a couple minutes?
No, that's
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
I'll be all right.
Okay.
All right.
So what are some things you did to take your mind off what was going on during the service?
What did you do to take your mind off?
What did I do?
To take your mind off the service, being there.
Well, actually, the best thing is we had movies after we worked, and I loved the movie. You know what? No chairs, no nothing. Just sitting on the deck. In fact, I got some pictures here where they're sitting. 150 guys around bullets and no, we were so busy, we didn't have much time to be truthful. Then we'd have the sergeant would make us study stuff, clean your gun. I don't know, we never shot it, but it had to be clean. And I didn't play poker or anything. I wish I did. Well, it was crap, because those guys would stay there, the lights out, and play. No, it wasn't. And I wasn't a mixer either. I mean, I don't say I was a loner, but being well, I was a loner because I came in with these guys that had 3 years together.
Yeah.
So it was a term. But I became pretty friendly with guys because I didn't drink the beer. And, oh, that's another thing. Our ship had beer. Some guys, I don't know how they loaded it. And the colonel let us have 2 beers a week. And I used to give my beer to the other guys. So I got friendly that way.
good.
Sure.
They were waiting for me.
Did you keep a journal at all during the time?
Did you keep a journal?
No.
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 You know, I didn't even want to know anything. I mean, other people did. All I kept thinking is, I gotta make it to go home.
Good thing.
You know, I'm not a career man, but I'll tell you, I put everything into it that I could.
Yep.
I hated it. Actually, I hated war. Who the hell can like it?
So where were you when your service ended?
Where were you when your service ended? When it ended, where were you?
I was in Okinawa. I was, see, we got to Okinawa, where the war was almost ending, because everything was already, in Iwo Jima, all the big ships took over.
Yeah.
So we went there, in a little place in Naha, but we didn't have anything to do. So all we did is just menial work, that's all. You know, they give me details. And either that, I could have gone to be a top sergeant or something, but I had to stay there. It was just like that, it would have been easy, because there was openings. But see, when I got into this outfit, there was no openings.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I only got to be sergeant. And I was proud of that.
So what was it like coming home after your service?
What was it like coming home?
You know, they had ships, aircraft going home, and I missed one. They were going to, I don't know, they were going to go from one island to another, get back. And one ship that I missed, the damn ship get down.
Ooh.
So I got on a troop ship. That was fun. There must have been 3,000 people on it. It was a big one. It was. We ended up in New Jersey. We went through the Panama Canal and all that. No, it was just. I was just glad to be coming home. It wasn't fun, but it was fun because the war's over.
Yeah. So what were the days like afterwards when you came home?
What did you do when you came home?
Well, actually, when I came home, I was thinking of going back to work. But in the meantime, when I was in the service, I was in touch with MIT because I had always in my mind, because I was working, that I'd make enough money and I could go to MIT. So I applied while I was in the service so I could have something to do. And I got a pretty good lady I talked to, I don't know, she was a dean or something. And during the year, she called me up and, give me a call, and she says, we'll keep you in mind every time you want to go. Then when I got home, all hell broke loose. Steele's mother was living in our house, her father died, she didn't have a job, so I went back to work. And when I went back to work, do you know something? They wouldn't get my job back.
No.
And I said, I'm getting my job back. So I went down to the superintendent. I said, where's my job? He says, your job's not there anymore. I said, I see people doing it. He said, well, they don't have the classification you are. I said, either give me that job or I'm going to see somebody, and the next day they give me my job back. But I didn't have an intention to stay there, but I ended up staying in it. And I had a good, 43 years in there. After that, I had a good time.
That's good. So did you make any close friendships in the service?
Did you make any close friendships in the service?
What?
Did you make any close friendships in the service?
What?
Anyone you keep in touch with from the service?
Make friendship with what?
In the service.
The service? Oh, Sammy Sennett, for one.
He doesn't keep in touch.
Harry Brewer. He was from Kansas City or one of the things. And he was also a replacement. So he and I were pretty close.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he was a great golfer, and we had something in common. And I was friendly with the guys that I worked with, but not overly.
So,
I'm a funny guy that way.
yeah. So what did you think of your officers during their service?
What did you think of your officers during the service?
What did I think of our officers?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they were nice guys. In fact, some of them, you call them chicken shit, you know. I mean, like, but most of them, like Dr. Zulik, I see one of the guys. The guy, they were nice guys.
Okay.
I don't say, you know, it's not like infantry or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in fact, we never even had stripes. Nobody had stripes except the officers. Even sergeants didn't have. All we had was pants like blue jeans and t-shirts. Everybody wore that.
Mhm.
No, it was a friendly crowd.
Okay.
Oh, of course, there was a little bit of,
Mhm.
but no, I can't say it's bad. I mean, it wasn't like basic, you know. Of course, the sergeant had to get after your gun and something, you know. My gun was always dirty. It was never clean. I mean, I think it was his job to. No, but like taking a shower, oh, that was fun. Take a shower, you step in for 1 second, get the water there, you get out, then there's about 1,000 guys waiting for the next one. Then the next morning, it's like, if you, like, even the corporal, low on the end, we had to clean the toilet. It was fun. No, it was, as far as people are concerned, I think we had a good crowd. The good officers, oh, you know, they had to do officers' work.
Mm-hmm.
There was a good crowd.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
Did you join any veterans associations?
What?
Did you join any veterans groups?
Did I join any veterans? Can you believe this? I had a friend. He was World War I, and he just couldn't wait for me to get home to bring me down to the Legion. So she's going to get a kick out of this. So I went down to the Legions, and all the World War I guys there. And the deacon was there, and the head of the guys, and we had a nice time. And I says, fellas, you know, I got a rec room down the cell after we got through. I says, come down, we'll have a beer or so. And by the time we got through, we had more than one beer. I don't know. She heard us, I guess. And then I was going to be initiated the next week. She said, you're not going there. And you know, she was sorry for that after that. She begged me to join it because all the other friends joined it and I wouldn't join. Then the veterans of foreign wars, they were good, but I didn't join them. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I wish I had, to be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
But I was stubborn.
Yeah.
Did you attend any reunions?
Did you go to any reunions? Did you go to any reunions? Reunions.
Did you go where? Oh, reunions? No. I never got an invitation or anything. I was hoping that, you know, somebody would I would have gone.
So how do you
In
think?
fact, what happened, I had this list here in the house. Well, this was way back in 2000. That I lost everything, all my equipment, everything, my
This house burned
clothes, all my. In fact, I was supposed to have 3 battle stars. Instead, I got 1. But as they say, it covers the whole southeastern thing. So Emmy got all this
Yeah,
for me.
My
I
daughter
didn't
got
have
all his
anything.
medals replaced.
Okay.
So.
I mean, none of this. I had it. See, this one here, that covers the whole the southeastern Asia.
Okay.
That takes care of Guam, Saipan, Iwo Jima, Okinawa. Then the one is for Japan, I guess. I don't know. But that's the important one.
Okay.
That's the one I'm proud of.
Sure. So, how do you think your service and experiences affected your life overall? Sorry.
How do you think your war experience affected your life overall? Okay.
You know, to be truthful, I'm thinking too much about it lately. Too much.
We got him a flag of valor, big quilt. It's in that room, so that's another thing that's kind of.
I wish that they never talked about it because I get started all over. Sometimes I wake up thinking about it. When I wake up, I'm glad that I did. I'm here now.
Me
It's
too.
not funny. Well, actually, I think it made my life better. It made my life better. I appreciate it more. I think it made me better.
Okay.
But water, I wouldn't go to the ocean for about 3 years.
Oh.
I used to take her to the mountains. I think she got sick of the mountains. And then when I went back to the water, I liked it.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm never going to see water. Oh, typhoons. Oh, but that's worse than a war.
So what were they? What were the typhoons like?
What were they like?
Well, we went through about 3 of them. In fact, you know, in Okinawa, when we came back, there was a ship. It must have been from here to the end of the property on the beach. That's how bad those times. Oh, we went through one of those tsunamis or nothing, whatever it was. They put us up on a hill. It wasn't a hill. It was a sandbar. If it ever came over, the priest was out there taking confessions, and thank God it didn't last long. But if the water ever came up, it's a sandbar. Hey, I had a lot of close ones.
So is there anything we haven't talked about that you'd like to say?
Is there anything that you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to add?
I was glad I was there. Honest to God. Especially as I got older.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it.
Mhm.
And I think anybody that was in it, they should be proud. or
That's right,
anybody
that's right.
that stayed home
Mhm.
that worried.
Yeah.
That she worried as much as I did. My mother, my father, they, no, I'm glad. I'm there again. I'm glad. But the other guys, well, they're dead. Why? I'm there. 5,000 dead, 10,000 wounded, and I'm in the ship. And next thing I know, we're turning around, getting the hell out. But then again, we were by ourselves.
Mhm.
We were just waiting for a torpedo. Waiting for a plane to come over. I mean, they're saying, when you're in the service, a guy's got to give up something. I mean, that's war. There's no winner 100%. So we were one of these guys that were probably 20, 30, well, we got 7 of them. Maybe you're going to get rid of 5 of them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just lucky. Just lucky. And I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you for your service and for also taking the time to be interviewed today.
He said, "Thank you, thank you."
Thank you, Lord. But thank you. You've been I'm glad to tell a story.